Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War Raid, week 14, day 7. So, today, we're going to be going over next week's event. It's actually not that bad. It's a Bright Forest event and we're getting 2 new troops. One is another gold boost ratio troop, oddly enough. I don't know why they keep adding them, but not complaining about having more gold options to synergize with a gold team. We definitely have quite a few of them these days, that's for sure. And we just keep getting more. I'm not sure exactly how viable this one's going to be. Actually, let me go bring it up right now. And then the rest of the time, of course, it is still a gnome weekend for several more hours. We have specifically 6 more hours if we want to go grind it till 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Monday reset. Or actually, the exact amount of time. We can just go look under our event. Whatever it says right there. 5 hours and 52 minutes is how much time we have left if we want to go still grind out any gnomes. We're currently at 9 vault keys, so maybe we'll reach 10. Anyways, where is the window? There it is. Let me go bring it up. Okay, so things are coming out. We have the leprechaun. This is the gold boost ratio 1. This one's going to be interesting mainly because of its empowered. It gets to start with full mana, of course, and it ends up exploding a bunch of green gems boosted by gold, and then gains a decent amount of gold. So this is essentially going to be a gigantic explosion right from the start of battle, very consistently, and its boost ratioed even more based on its whatever gold it might have at a given time. So yeah, it's going to be pretty good in the context of any gold farming team. What's kind of interesting is this could potentially be a replacement for greed even, in cases where you want to have mana accumulation instead of the higher amount of gold. This could, in theory, end up doing it, as it still gives you gold while actually giving you a pretty decent amount of mana accumulation. Of course, Greed still gets that 1 explosion at the start of battle, but that is way more than 1. That should be about 10, 9 or 10 green explosions, depending on how much gold he has initially, and then it just keeps going up from there. The only real big drawback is that's a lot less gold for late game players, only getting 20. But still, if the mana is more important, that would definitely kind of change things up as far as with that team. And yeah, it's pretty much just making the greed or all the bronze lock teams and all the key teams, skeleton key, even stronger than they were before, potentially. We'll have to see exactly how it pans out, but good chance this thing could be really, really good. Not to mention it also has link into its own color, which is pretty convenient. It does explode the way the color that it actually gives link to, but still, it's probably going to trigger eventually. Especially if you had something that actually had a green storm, though I don't know if you'd really commit that much to it. Mainly because not many hero classes would have it, and there'd be almost no other way to do it other than hero class. But anyways, yeah, pretty decent troop. Basically a alternative to greed, and also just a general mana accumulator in general. It's going to be pretty nice for that, just gaining all mana simultaneously at the start of battle. Anyways, that's him. And he'll be available for glory for 300 glory. And other than that, we have... Also, you'll be able to get straight stones, too, the green purples. He's also only ultra rare, so super easy to fully trait. He could be an alternative early game first turn mana accumulator. Like normally in late game you'd be using things like Mercy, Grimlet, all those other things, but they're epic, so newer players sometimes can't have them. But that leprechaun is really, really cheap. Only ultra rare, only 300 glory. Very easy to fully max out. Next up we have a interesting, colorful, cute dragon. Unfortunately, it's probably not going to be viable, but it's probably going to be a lot of fun to use at least. It has a 100% chance to give all allies 4 magic, with a 50% chance that it could do each of the following. So basically it's going to roll each of these 3 at a 50% chance. And you could, in theory, get all 3 to trigger, though you could also get none of them to trigger. But it deals damage to all enemies, a decent amount, explode 8 random gems, and or give all allies a bunch of life. And it could, in theory, do all of those. It could, in theory, do none of those. Could do 2 of those, could do 1 of those, any combination of them. The only thing it's going to do guarantee every single time is 4 magic to all allies, including itself. So it could potentially be okay. It depends how many times it gets 8 explosions. If it keeps getting 8 explosions pretty much every single time, it's going to be insane regardless of what else it triggers. But if it doesn't do that, then it's pretty much just going to be useless and you just wasted your entire cast for basically 4 magic. It could potentially be good. It's really luck-based though, is the biggest issue. And because it's so luck-based, it's probably never going to be used. It's the same reason why Fizz Bang is never actually used in a PvP team. Like, you can occasionally set it into really strong defend teams, like the whole Goblin thing, but you never actually invade with it more often than not, simply because it's way too inconsistent. And that's essentially exactly what this dragon's going to be. It's going to be way too inconsistent to ever bother using, but it might make its way onto defend teams or other various dragon teams in the future. But, I don't know, it's a fun concept. I definitely think it's going to be at least okay. Just too inconsistent to ever really bother using for the most part. Other than that, it does have immune to mana drain and all that, and it does have a Fairy Fire option. Not too many things have Fairy Fire options, so that's pretty nice. The better two options, though, are Queen Titania and Glitterclaw, both of which would do it way better than this thing can, but it's still not an awful way to do it. Also, it does do it based on green gems, so oddly enough, you could synergize it with Glitterclaw if you really wanted to, though that's probably a little bit overkill as far as Fairy Fire is concerned. But in theory, you could technically combine the two if you really wanted to. But anyways, that's that. Both really good troops. This specific one's going to be in the event key drop table, so it's going to be a little bit harder to get than the other one. But we'll probably try getting 2 copies of it, maybe even 3, and then just use an orb on it. We'll see. But it depends how many we have to burn through. We have almost 1,500 event keys right now, so I don't really mind spending a little bit more than normal. And it's a Guild War week, so we're not getting any weapon. So no weapon here, unfortunately. But yeah, those are 2 new troops. At least they're really good troops for once. Lately, we've been getting questionable drops as far as troops are concerned, but this week's definitely one of the better releases as far as stuff that we're getting. Also, hello everyone. Hello William. Hello Danny. Hello Demon or Angel. Hello Mehmet. Hello Steve. Hello Mr. Jesse. Hello Captain. Hello Aaron. Hello Deathshade. Hello Pedro. Hello Raven. Hello Optics. Hello Medieval. And hello everyone else. Welcome. His flavor text is, "They're always after me, Lucky Charm." Oh, that's great. Oh, that's perfect. If that's the flavor text of the leprechaun. That's really funny. That is pretty funny. Anyways, it is still a, oops, that's the right team. What am I doing? It is an event after all, so let's go back to grinding. Gotta go and get the last of it. We already finished all of raids, which is why we're not currently doing raids. Already got all the rewards for that. Also, next Friday. Oh no, stream went down for a second. Come back, stream. Hate when it does that. Okay, anyways, next Friday is nothing for whatever reason. I guess because of the holidays, they decided to not make it any event this time around. But we haven't had a nothing Friday for a while, so I don't know what we're gonna do for that. I do have something planned for Thursday night, so I don't know if I'll just delay the Friday stream slightly or what, but I'm not sure yet. Because I'm gonna be doing something Thursday night for a while, so I don't know how long that's gonna go on for. But yeah, I guess they just have no event, so in case people are enjoying the holiday and everything. I won't be doing too much for the holidays, though on the actual day of it, I'll probably be eating a bunch of stuff and seeing some people, but it's not going to be like traveling. The stream will still be normal time and all that. Okay, I got a sunbird down. Pull all that up. Oh, you said that better be hit? Oh, I thought you already saw it from like the game files or something. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, though I also wouldn't be surprised if they didn't due to copyright reasons. I don't know if something like that's even copyrighted, but you never know. It's a decently well-known phrase. What do we take here? We'll take our, I'll take the yellow down. And then we'll sunbird him down. How did that not kill a single thing? I'll throw another sunbird down. Oh no, the new Devouring Mythic. Luckily it's not going to gain Devours this time around. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's copyrighted. So hello, Bakchan, welcome. If anyone has any questions or anything you want me to go over, let me know. And we'll hand out a redeem code if we find a vault key or sometime later during the stream if we don't find a vault key. Hopefully we'll find a vault key though. I did say one of the goals was to try to get 10 vault keys, and we're only one away. Haven't had much time to grind today, so I haven't been able to actually find one. But hopefully we'll find one on stream. So far, every hour on stream so far, we have indeed gotten one. Hopefully this hour won't be any different. And then from there, I'll probably start saving my vault keys again in anticipation for whatever the next gnome might be. Because they're probably going to be adding more gnomes in the future. So we still have a decent ways to go on maxing Titan, but I'll be keeping my hero class as Titan for most of next week. Hey, that reminds me, do we still need anyone for the guild? I had some people asking. We actually have a full guild for once even. It's always funny whenever, oh, we have someone doing nothing? Hello. Let's see, that's strange. How long have they been in here? Oh, they only been here for 5 hours. Oh, wait, never mind, you're a new recruit, that's why you've done nothing. Oh, someone already recruited for me, nice. Wait, is that recent? I didn't even realize we had a hole. Apparently my recruiters got it before I even knew that we had a hole. There we go, happened 5 hours ago. We have another one though here. Hasn't done the gold or anything yet. So I'll probably have to kick that. Hasn't done the seals, hasn't done the gold, not the trophies. Not sure what's up with that. We'll need to double check chat to see if he said anything. Because I think I had 2 or 3 people like asking me to join the guild. We only seem to have one hole though. Because that one already, someone already replaced one of them in. Anyways, also people keep changing my banner. It keeps changing like every single day to a different coloration. I don't know who keeps changing it. I don't mind though, as long as they keep keeping it a dragon. Anyways. Generally just a leprechaun on its own would be enough. Very rarely would there be more than 10 greens on the board. There wouldn't be any need to use both of them. You definitely just use one or the other. It's way too overkill to use both. You'd be better off with a second Cedric or something else at that point. Yeah, there's no need to have both of them. Oh, I didn't even think about that either. You can actually double Cedric and just use the leprechaun as all your mana accumulation. You don't even need Egg Thief anymore, since you could just do all of the mana accumulation off the leprechaun if you needed to. That probably wouldn't be the best of ideas, but I don't know. In some instances, it could be enough. The only reason that may not work is because of the half mana thing. He only gains half mana, whereas Destroy would give you all the mana. One of the reasons why Egg Thief works so well for it, because they nerfed Explosion, but didn't nerf destroying the entire board, which Egg Thief actually can do pretty effectively. Oh, we got a pet. I haven't seen too many pets as of recently. I guess a lot of people in my guild haven't been doing as much PvP. But let's go and finish this out with this. Still need multiple copies of this one. Oh, do I have it so anyone can get in? Oh, forgot about that. I don't think I switched that since the thing. Oh, maybe I should go and do something about that then. Because I don't know if you can actually do all the guild requirements and everything. I completely forgot I still had it in. I could have sworn I disabled it, but I think some other people in my guild might have the capability of changing it, I'm not sure. Yeah, it is invite only, that's what I thought. Because I know I kept it on that. I don't know if my higher end commands can actually change that though. But I know I kept it on invite only. As long as someone invited it, it's fine. Okay, we'll take the red there. Grab the other red. Oh, I meant to take the red! At least we still got mana somehow. So I guess it works out. And dead. How many more copies of this do we need? How many more copies do we need? We need 1 billion more copies. Hopefully we get at least 2 though in order to get the next little level on it. Do you think the new gold troop coming out will fit into the skeleton key meta? Yes. It is going to be the new skeleton key meta. It basically replaces Al-Kharid. Most likely. It might even replace out Egg Thief too. This might just become a second Cedric. We'll have to see exactly how it pans out. But yeah, new meta is now probably going to be Leprechaun. Which is going to be interesting to see a Leprechaun as the meta. This seems like a really weird troop to kind of have as meta. It seems like something you would have for like a holiday event and then it would never be good. But no, it's probably going to be like forever good. Well, I guess Ragnagord was kind of like that too. It was supposed to be like a Christmas troop. But at one point, Ragnagord was one of the most viable mana accumulation options in the game. Still kind of is, but most people just opt for Mountain Crusher instead, due to how ridiculous Titan is. But prior to Titan being the most insane thing ever, a lot of people would use Ragnagord for the similar effect instead of Mountain Crusher. But of course, these days, everyone just goes Mountain Crusher. There's really no need to if you haven't used Hero yet on your team, because it's so much better. Yes, you could still use Egg Thief plus Leprechaun. Though alternatively, you could also just use double Cedric, Skeleton Key, Leprechaun. And that in itself would probably be enough. I'm not fully certain if that will be, but assuming that is enough, it's basically going to be what you use from now on. That, or you could just do what you just said, just basically replace this with Leprechaun instead of Greed, and then you still keep the Egg Thief there. So we'll just have to test around, see how it works, and see which one works best. Won't really know until we test it. Xander. I know the feeling. Just think of the Dawnbringer at the end of the tunnel. Or at least having everything leveled if that's what you're grinding instead of Dawnbringer. So for Dawnbringer, I don't feel like the grind is as bad. I think the grind is a bit worse when you're just getting souls for the sake of leveling everything. But if you're actually trying to get Dawnbringer, I don't know, I find it to be decently fun. If you don't currently have a Dawnbringer, if you're actually working towards something that's pretty nice. Not as enjoyable if you're just trying to get everything fully leveled. Because that's not as rewarding as getting a gigantic weapon. Oh, what did he just say? Whoops. What was even... Wait. Oh, he's talking about cursed. Wait, we haven't been cursed? Interesting. We actually haven't been cursed. He was just telling us what cursed does. We've cursed the enemy before, but we've never been cursed ourselves. So it's never actually triggered. Interesting. But yeah, Surian was just telling us what Curse does. I'll do his job for him then. Basically, Curse does... okay, well that's pretty counterproductive to what it does. It changes the auto-cleanse rate from 10% down to 5% per turn. Oh, that's funny, we got cursed again. Why is he getting cursed so often? But it basically changes the cleanse rate down to 5% instead of 10%. So instead of being 10%, then 20, then 30, then 40, it's 5, then 10, then 15, then 20, and so on and so forth. So basically anything, stats effects that you have will take longer to take off. It also gets rid of any immunities. So, okay, we're not currently using something that had immunities, but let's just say we were using Titan. That's immune to stun, devour, death mark, all that. We would no longer have any of those immunities while cursed. Also, it overwrites blessed, which is basically a impervious plus immune to mana drain. So it can overwrite that trait as well, for that perk. But yeah, currently nothing really does cursed. The only thing that does viably, there's really only 2 viable options. There's a few things that do it, but as far as viable ones, it's Magnus and Dragonet. Those are about the only 2 that are realistically good for cursing. At least currently, until we get better options. And as you can see, we've kept this for a while, but that's just how Curse works. And of course, as I say that, we get rid of it. But basically, it makes it so stats effects are supposed to last longer. By about twice as long. Assuming you don't have a cleanse. Hello, IceRR, welcome. Yeah, that's basically the same thing that happens to me. If I check my battles, I probably have like 13 left. But there's no need to use them because we already got all rewards. It's happened to me many, many, many times before. It just happens. If you're going to go get all rewards, as in getting the new troop to Mythic, in order to get kingdom upgrades and stuff, you kind of have to do that, unfortunately. Today you found out if you soul farm an Explorer, somehow you don't get either gnomes or arcane trait stones. You do, or you're supposed to. Oh, apparently we've never been bled yet either. Well, there's bleed. The troop has started to bleed. It will take true damage each turn depending on how much it's bleeding. Well, you're not even going to tell the numbers? He doesn't even tell us the numbers. It's 1 for 1, 2 for 3, I mean 3 for 2. Okay, let me just do this. There's 4 levels, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And respectively, it does 1 damage, 3 damage, 6 damage, and 10 damage. True damage per turn. Anything that ever gets a bleed, that will be repeatable infinitely. Like, you know, like it has a 100% chance to bleed is going to be insanely, insanely good. If there's ever anything that gets added to the game that can bleed everything while still having board control, it's going to be one of the best troops in the entire game. I don't know if they're going to release something like that, but it's going to make true damage good again, finally. True damage hasn't been good for a very, 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 very long time, but between Weaver and Bleed, and mainly Bleed, it's going to be made very good again. Only big issue with it is they need to actually release troops that have Bleed. We currently have nothing that uses any of the good, new stuff other than things that place it randomly, which isn't consistent enough to actually use the effects how they're supposed to be used. But anyways, that's that. Pet's done. Let's go back to Explorer. And we'll have a redeem code either when we find a vault key or sometime later in the stream. Either or. So how close are we to a hero level? Or when we gain a hero level, how about that? I have no clue how close we are. For all we know, it could be next battle. Hello, Travel M. Welcome. Glad you can still make it. We're not too late. It's only a half an hour later. Or are you referring to the stream? We only started a few minutes later. I was mainly waiting for the program to start up. Normally, any delay I have is mainly because I'm waiting for the streaming program to want to actually respond. Sometimes it likes to not work randomly. And of course, the times it normally choose to do so is like right before the stream starts, which is always annoying. There's always some kind of small technical difficulty with it. Either the webcam doesn't want to work, or just not responding, or lag with it. I normally try fixing that before it starts. I'm not sure why OBS Studio specifically does it. Still haven't figured that out. Like, it's fully up to date and everything. Like, whenever I open OBS, like the normal OBS, it doesn't lag at all when I open it. Start doing stuff with it. I specifically keep them separate. I only use OBS for recording, and I use the OBS Studio for streaming. Even though both of them do almost the exact same thing. It's like having them separate. How did that not give Sunbird full mana? The whole point of casting that was to give Sunbird full mana. You got 3 soul gnomes in a row. One gave 2,500 souls, but no vault key, so useless. Well, that's not still too bad. Still getting a bunch of souls like that. At least it's not giving 1,000 souls each time. So I think I'm coming down with a cold. Hope not. That or at least a sore throat, if nothing else. I'm gonna take that over, take a red. Just in time for the holidays. Everyone on the internet is sick today. Oh, 1 HP. I think it keeps living. I can't wait till we don't have to see it anymore. Once it switches over to next week. It keeps living because it has 25% spell reduction. You never get sick because you avoid people. I avoid people too, and I still get sick. It's mostly because of the weather shifts is what's doing it for me. Why Forest Guardian instead of Rowan? Because when you have really high stats, it's better doing it this way. If you have lower stats, it's better doing it with Rowan. If you can kill an entire team with one Sunbird cast, it's better. Hey, Volky! It's better to do it with Sunbird Forest Guardian. But if it takes you more than one Sunbird cast, it's better to do it with Sunbird Rowan. But yeah, I did say we'd give out a redeem code when we get a Volky. Also, I did set an arbitrary goal to try to get 10 Volkies this weekend. And that is indeed our 10th Volky. So, yeah, we actually reached it. That's one of the highest amounts of Volkies we've ever gotten. Second highest. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Let's go claim it. Definitely a really good week for the Vault event, at least for us. The drops could have been a little bit better, though. Haven't seen a single major blue. Unless this wants to prove me wrong, please. I would love if this could prove me wrong. We haven't seen one for months. No! That's the exact opposite of proving me wrong. It's almost like we didn't even get a Volky. 5 gems, 5 diamonds, a small amount of useless gold, and a useless gnome. I hate when it does that. Oh, that's a really anticlimactic final key. That was good. Give out the code. Yeah, final key! It's the most useless one we've gotten all week. I actually do believe that's the most useless one of all 10 excuse me, of all 10 that we opened. Let's see, do that, copy, save it. Put this over here, boom, boom, boom. Does it work? It works. Let's use it for the other one. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see, put that there, copy. And there you guys go, there's the redeem code. The sad part is that redeem code has more loot in it than the gnome we just got. That is how bad that gnome is. The redeem code is better. There we go. Has the same reward as always. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, and 2,500 gold. Same resources as always. Your invite code can be found underneath your settings menu. Redeem code is used on gemsofwar.com underneath the game code section, which the link's right over there. Just click it in description or paste it over there. And redeem code is also right there. And it works on every platform except for the 2 console versions. Well, back to the grind. Even though we hit 10, doesn't mean we can't go higher. I kind of want to get another Vault key just to make up for how horrible that Vault key was. Six minor trait stone plus a gnome. Oh, that is awful. I don't think I've ever done that bad. I can't even think of what the absolute worst loot I got. It was one of the normal gnomes with, I think it was just a small amount of gold that was under 10,000. I think it was 2 2,500s and a 4,000 drop, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. I think that's the worst I've gotten so far from a gnome, or from a Vault key, I mean. But even that could be considered better than those trait stones. I mean, yeah, considered better than those trait stones. Those minor trait stones are about the worst drops you can get. That or the 2 diamonds. I think if they all just dropped 2 diamonds. I guess 2 diamonds is more valuable than 2 minor trait stones. Well, it depends how you look at it. Because trait stones might be useful in the future. Also, if you're a newer player or a mid-range player, you might actually still need minor trait stones. Yeah, no problem for the redeem code, everyone. Yeah, 2,500 gold is really small. You can get that in under half a minute in PvP. Though similarly, you can also get 2 minor trait stones in half a minute in Explore. So I guess they take about the same amount of time to obtain. Aw, worst drop off a Soul Gnome. You couldn't give us a Vault key. I guess we can't expect back-to-back Vault keys. Oh, well, we can't expect back-to-back Soul Gnomes, apparently. How about you have our Vault key, then? Let's see it. Vault key, go. Nope. Oh, we went from worst soul drop to best soul drop. 6,000 souls in 1 minute. I'll take it. Too bad we couldn't consistently do that. Could you imagine getting 360,000 souls per hour? That'd be really funny. That's extremely unrealistic, though, to get it that many times in a row. So that would be hilarious. You'd be able to farm Dawnbringer in 4 hours. You can never have too much gold, I know, right? Especially with how they modified factions. To be super annoying. Well, we just really want to get soul gnomes all of a sudden. I was kind of joking when I said 360 souls per hour. But if we keep getting this many soul gnomes, we actually could. Let's see, what is he going to drop? Well, 7,000 souls in 2 minutes. Not too bad. Wow, what's with all the gnomes all of a sudden? I don't mind, especially if you're going to give a vault key to make up for the vault key from earlier. Nope, just the useless gold. And now we're probably going to go in a dry streak and not get another gnome for the rest of the stream. Yeah, I'm probably getting more souls than you while you're soul farming, without even trying to obtain souls. The gnome events are always the best time to do soul farming, explore farming for trait stones, hero class leveling, stuff like that. Anything that takes an absurd amount of time is generally best to do during a gnome event. You can do it at other times, but you get way more resources doing it during a gnome event. There's like really tedious things that you might not necessarily want to do. Just save it for vault event, for vault key events, and you get a lot more loot as you do it. Like right now, we're leveling Thief, and it's actually fun because we get gnomes. And normally it would be really tedious. Well, it's still pretty tedious, but still, at least it's more rewarding. Oops, I took that thinking it would kill. Well, it actually did, but I'm actually surprised it didn't, given that he has 80% score reduction. Maybe he didn't have his trait. That or that +5. The Doom Skulls get calculated really weirdly with skull mitigation. I believe they almost always just hit through skull mitigation. One HP, of course. Lives for like another 30 seconds off of 1 HP. Maybe not that long, but still. Wasted several turns and several seconds. Also, anyone just getting here, don't forget to use the redeem code. We finally found our 10th vault key. That was what that was for. I'll take the skull just in case it's not enough damage. Pretty sure it is, but there we go. Guarantee kill. But yeah, next week, no Friday event, but we do have 2 interesting new troops coming in on Monday at least. So at least tomorrow we'll have a bunch of stuff to go over. Friday we'll have nothing though, and the weekend we'll have nothing. That's the holiday weekend, so that's pretty much fine that there isn't anything. Hello, Motown! Welcome! We got 5 diamonds. That's almost better than the vault key we got earlier with how bad the vault key was. There's actually one that drops in the vault key. Hey, there we go. Level 86 on Thief. Yeah, next week, goal is to get Thief to 100. We're definitely not leaving next week without having Thief to max level. That is going to happen, one way or another. Wow, really good rate of gnomes all of a sudden. The last 10 minutes, we just got an absurd amount of gnomes. Of course, it is a vault event. That's kind of supposed to happen. Ooh, nice. That's his best drop that isn't a vault key. I kind of would prefer to get a vault key, though based on the previous vault key, 3 event keys actually would have been better than the entire loot of the previous vault key. So I guess it's not too bad. That's 42 gems worth, in theory. Or 45, depends how you look at it. Yep, and there's a gem key. That was also better than the previous vault key we got. What Guild War bracket are we in this week? Bracket number 3 we should be. I don't think we went down to bracket number 4. But yeah, we should be in bracket number 3. We haven't moved back to 2 for a while now. Yeah, you can get vault keys during the quests. Any of the quests can drop vault keys. As well as any of the gnomes. Oh yeah, Leprechaun Greed as well as just Leprechaun in place of Greed are going to be really good. Greed could potentially be new meta starting next week. We'll have to see how it pans out. It's going to be either really, really good or just kind of average. Probably really, really good though. I'm not sure if it's going to be a Greed replacement or a Greed side by side. Like something that you use next to it. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a replacement. But I don't know how badly the half mana gain on it's gonna spend compared to Egg Thief's 100% gain, because it's only gonna gain half the amount. However, it does get operational immediately without the need of greed or anything, because it basically is its own greed. God, there's almost no red on that board. Wonder why it did almost nothing. This is going to be one of those annoying Weaver battles. There's just the army of the Weavers, and I can't even target it because he's stealthy. And he gets a summon. That's funny. We kill the web spinner and gets replaced with a web spinner. Normally isn't supposed to happen, but because he has the thing there, it does. And the reason it did it simultaneously is because it Sunbird dying counts as a death, and he has a 75% chance to summon every single time we die. So it basically just summoned immediately right back into his place. For Lamia, we'll hit it down. Good to go. You wasted nearly all your gems this week, but you're actually considering doing 50 maps to get 800, so you can buy the raid troop to Mythic. Wait, does it cost 500 or 800? Oh, it was slightly cheaper than that. Don't forget you can use a blue orb to get it up as well. I believe you only need 500 something, isn't it? Pretty sure it's not that high. You only need to buy up to tier 4, if I'm not mistaken. Was it 4 or 5? I can't even remember now. But you don't need to buy that final pack that gives those last few copies. You can just use an Orb of Ascension on it and get it up. It will cost you 1 Orb of Ascension, but it's worth it relative to how many gems it saves you. It saves, I think, 300 something gems. And normally you have way more than enough battles, or at least my guild normally does. Let me see, how many battles do we have? And also whatever tier we're currently at is the tier I'm looking for. Oh, we didn't do Diamond Day yet. I need to make sure I go do that. What am I looking for? I'm looking for guild, raids. Yeah, we have 17 battles left over. But yeah, you only have to buy tier 4. It saves you 350 gems. But yeah, just buy tier 4 and use a Orb of Ascension instead of buying tier 5. It'll save you 350 gems. And that would be a good exchange. 1 blue orb for 350 gems is a pretty decent exchange rate of a blue orb, small blue. Okay, well, let's go back to the grind. Oh, you did say 500. Oh, why did I think that was 850? Oh, wow. I have no clue how I thought that was like 850 or something. That's weird. Yeah, I have no clue why I thought that was 850. That doesn't even look remotely like 850. That's really strange. I do have pretty bad vision, though. My vision is really, really bad. I have glasses for a reason. But even with glasses, they're really bad. It's one of the reasons I actually don't drive. I almost failed the test to even get a permit when I first got one when I was 16. Because my vision is that bad, even with glasses. Am I thinking of using any of the new troops' weapons since last Guild War in the Troops Guild War event? Are you thinking of using any of the new troops' weapons since the last Guild War in the upcoming event? Might be using the new gnome that's coming out, the leprechaun. Other than that, I might be trying to use the new Mythic that came out. But yeah, the new Mythic and a new Gnome. Or not the new Gnome, you know what I mean, the new Leprechaun that's coming out tomorrow. Those are the only two I might try using. But yeah, the Devourer Mythic will probably try. It's probably going to get a lower score due to how Devourer gets calculated in Guild Wars. But if it can get a quick enough win, it'll probably be fine. Oh, Rope Dart. Did that actually come in since the last one? I don't think we would need Rope Dart for the game mode. Armor tier is pretty bad unless we're using it with Mang in the context of Guild Wars, because all the armor we tier does not count for points. It's one of the reasons why Megavore is a little bit situational. Unless you can get really quick kills off his cast. Also, extra turning still counts as turns in Guild Wars as well, for calculating how many turns have gone by. So extra turn spam doesn't actually help too much. It'll help in that it still helps you win the battle, but it won't help in that it still lowers your points the more turns that go by. And even keeping it on your turn is still turns going by. At least as far as Guild Wars is concerned. And I think they did that just so people wouldn't just have to use infinite loop teams. Because if they made it so it didn't go down, all everyone would ever do is just infinite loop into winning every Guild War day, and there'd be no other teams that would be viable because of it. Which is one of the reasons why it's calculated so weird. They will be probably rebalancing how Guild Wars gets calculated in the future. They still haven't bothered doing that yet. But they have to be really careful to still keep it balanced if they do. Because the biggest issue with the previous format of Guild Wars scoring, or the two, they actually had a few different formats, but one of the very first ones, the biggest issue was, well, the really big issue was it was really too easy to max score. But the other big issue was they basically made it so you had to use summoners, just because how the scoring was. It was basically a requirement to have a summoner on your team, just because you could preserve all of your points by simply making sure you won with 4 troops, regardless of how you performed the rest of the time. And they have to be careful that they don't modify it to do something similar again, where there's only one specific type of team that would be viable for Guild Wars, and then everyone would have to use those type of troops and nothing else in order to get max score. Because right now, you can use pretty much anything for Guild Wars for the most part, and it would still score at least somewhat decent. Assuming you win everything and win at a decent rate still. Hey, you thought I was wearing glasses just so I could look smart? Also, it's kind of funny because there's always like a glare on my glasses. I still haven't found a way around that. Not sure what the solution would exactly be, other than no glasses, but then I can't see anything. Oh, there's a gnome. Haven't got many gnomes as of the last several minutes. So hopefully that has a Wolf key to make up for all the lack of gnomes. Oh, well, there we go. Okay. Well, 11 Vault keys. Please have a good loot. Okay. Let's see here. Take the purple. Throw a firebomb just so we do enough damage. He'll do whatever. Sunbird dead. Okay, what do we get? Come on, Major Blue Orb, or at least anything good. Oh! Oh, moment of truth. Oh! 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 Ooh. It might be the time. We might finally break it after like an entire season of no blue orb. Major blue, anyways. Rest of the drops aren't too good. Well, 5 gem keys in a gem. I mean, 5 gems in a gem key isn't too bad. Don't be green. Well, don't be orange either. Ideally blue, though I'd be fine if it was a purple too. But this would be a really good way to end Gnome event if it was actually a blue orb. The purple would be fine too. The biggest issue if this is a green or orange, and there's like a 60-something% chance there's will be an orb we don't actually need. That could have been worse. I'll take it. I shouldn't complain about that. That's basically worth 675 gems. That's 75 gem keys, basically. So, yeah, that's good. That's not a major blue orb, but if that's the last orb or the last thing we get off of Vault Event, I'd be perfectly happy with that. Can't really complain with that. It's not a green and it's not an orange. Could have been better, though. Still decent, though. But yeah, that's the second best drop it has. If you count orbs, the absolute best a drop it has is major blue. Second best is major purple. Third best is minor blue, and fourth best is not even minor purple. It's actually 250 gems. Then fifth, I believe, is minor purple. No, not even. Minor purple is actually like seventh. The actual order would be major blue would be first. Major purple would be second, so still a really decent reward. A small blue would be third. 250 gems would be fourth. 20 event keys, is it? 15 event keys would be fifth. 20 gem keys would be sixth. And a smaller purple would be seventh. And we could keep going with it. I believe eighth would be 100 gems, and I don't know how much further down from there it goes. But that's basically the better drops within the drop table. And everything that wasn't something that I just mentioned is pretty much just useless drops that he has. Or near useless, like 60,000 gold or something like that. Obviously that's not horrible, but relative to his other drops, pitiful. All 8 of those drops that I mentioned are all 100 gems worth or higher. And one of them is literally 100 gems. So I believe the average of a vault key does average out to about 80 gems per vault key. I think they made it so it's supposed to be about 100 gem value each. I believe it's a little bit lower than that, though I guess it depends on luck. And I guess it also depends on how you value orbs. $21 Vault Keys this weekend, and 5 Cedrics, 2 major greens, no Jewel Gnome. Ouch. Yeah, we got really lucky to get Jewel Gnome when we did. It was actually the only copy of Jewel Gnome that we ended up getting. So we ended up getting it as our first Vault Key on Friday's stream, right after opening 36 Vault Keys. We had the first one that we did that was actually from the event we got a gnome from. Though that, in theory, meant we also took us 37 Vault Keys until we actually got a copy. So if you look at it that way, then we got insanely bad luck. But if you look at it from actual keys that we got during the event, we got it on the first possible key that we could have gotten it on. Yeah, some people still don't have the Glory Gnome either from the previous events. Like neither the 2 new gnomes. It happens. They're not really important to own, though. Every single gnome is completely irrelevant other than Cedric. All the other ones are basically just for collection purposes. They don't actually serve any purpose other than trolling people on PvP defend. Also, that's really funny that the actual purpose of a troop is to troll people. I do have to say, that is pretty cool that a game has like some kind of piece of content like that. Like, content that's deliberately bad, but bad in a fun way. Like, unfortunately, this game also has a lot of bad content that's also just bad. But they do have some jokingly bad content, which is so bad that it's hilarious and good, in a way. And in theory, it actually technically is good because current meta in defend PvP is set the weakest possible team you can. And yeah, that does help set the weakest. It definitely helps. Though I don't know advertising that we have a Jewel Gnome is really helping the cause. Because if someone sees a Jewel Gnome, they'll want to skip our battle, not take it. If they saw a Glory Gnome, however, they would definitely want to take it. Well, so that's the first Glory Gnome all stream. Hopefully it gives us 1,000 glory. Or who knows, maybe it'll give us our 12th vault key. Well, 500 glory. Every drop it has is good, so can't really complain about any drop it gives. Just seeing a Glory Gnome in general is nice. First key sounds better. Oh, so we still don't know if they're doing anything calendar related for the holidays. I hope they will. It's right around the corner. They said they weren't going to do like the 5 days or 10 days of Christmas thing. They weren't going to do that. But they might still give something. Because they did a lot of resources last year. Like a lot of resources. They did a lot for the 3-year anniversary. And then they did even more for around Christmas time. If nothing else, I think we'll get a Battle Crasher next week of some kind to gain extra resources. They're kind of like a Gnome event, except nowhere near as good, but still free loot. Hopefully it's for glory or something. Ideally it won't be for souls, because there'll probably be some kind of trivial amount. Well, anything that it does for Battle Crashers is probably going to be a trivial amount, but hopefully it's a weak Battle Crasher. It's annoying if it's really tanky, because it makes explore and stuff a lot harder to do, since you constantly have a troop in there that keep making the team harder to kill. But it's nice for PvP, because it actually makes PvP battles easier normally. Okay, we'll get a Sunbird down. So yeah, does anyone else have any other questions or anything you want me to go over? Otherwise, we'll try grinding for a few more minutes to maybe get that elusive 12th vault key. But other than that, I'll probably start wrapping up. We'll be back tomorrow to go over everything with the new event, of course. Going over the Soul Forge. Oh, speaking about Soul Forge, actually, I need to do, well, 2 things. One, I need to go do Diamond Day real quick in Dungeons. But don't forget, if you want a Fairish Ra, assuming you have enough diamonds, so there's a good chance you might have enough diamonds, though. But if you do have the diamonds available, Fairish Ra is still available for like 5 more hours. Also, if you are short enough that that $5 diamond pack is enough to get you Fairish Ra, I would say go for it. Fairish Ra for $5 is definitely worth it. It's not something you would normally throw down, but if you needed a Fairish Ra or something else really decent, if you're only 150 away or less, it'd probably be worth it. Fairish Ra is insanely good to have. It saves you so much time off of soul farming. It's one of the few times where that pack would actually be pretty decent to go for. Are you adding the new Goblin Mythic to your Guild War Defend team? I might. I'm not sure what day I'll set it to. I feel like it's going to be too inconsistent under AI control, though, because they're not going to mana loop properly, and you can't use Stargazer with it, because I highly doubt the AI would be smart enough to use Stargazer on that troop. Did he really just get a 1 in 6 Devour? At least he did it on something useless. That would have been pretty funny, but also awful if he would have done that to our hero. We actually would have lost the dungeon battle, which would be sad, especially the first dungeon battle. I can't even remember the last time we've lost to a dungeon battle. In late game, they have basically 0 stats relative to how many we can have. How are we still not full mana? How are we still not full mana? There we go. Oh, you're finally able to get Fairish Ra today. Nice. Hello, lowlights. Welcome. Glad you could join us again. Yeah, it has been a while. That's not what I want. Oops, I should have taken the extra turn. Fail. Oh well. Grab that. Get this down. Go get a key. Throw it down again. Well, with the new leprechaun, he's not becoming unmeted anytime soon, that's for sure. And there we go. We'll go grab ourselves the free diamonds and everything. Well, it's basically free. You get 2 gem keys back. You get Celestial. For 50 gems, it's insanely good value to go for it. You should always be doing that every Sunday. You could do this technically every single day, but Sunday's the absolute best value for it because it gives the 2 gem keys, which covers almost half the gems. You get a Celestial, and you get an absurd amount of diamonds, like a ridiculously large amount. It's a great way to start working towards a Mythic, just always throwing that down every Sunday. Anyways, that's that. Let's go and farm, I guess, a little bit more Explore. And hopefully find 1 more Vault Key. Pretty sure it's not going to happen. And if it does, it'll probably happen off stream, but oh well. Might as well try. But yeah, this is the 2nd best Vault event we've ever had so far. It might even be best. I'm not even certain. It's hard to tell. As far as actual loot, it's definitely 2nd best. I don't know for sure if we actually gotten more gnomes this time around, though. I can't recall what the actual highest we ever gotten is. I think it's 12, but I'm not fully certain. Also, why am I doing Darkstone? I don't mean to be doing here. The Straight Stone made me realize I'm in Darkstone. Darkstone's actually one of the worst kingdoms to ever explore in, mainly because it has... oh, no, never mind, not Darkstone. Groshnok is one of the worst kingdoms to ever explore in, because it has that troop that has the 100% chance to summon itself, which just makes the battle go on forever. Or at least relative to how long Explore takes, it goes on forever. Even a 10-second delay is forever in Explore. Well, 12 Vault Keys! Okay, maybe this is the best event we've ever gotten. Wow, 2 Vault Keys just this stream. I don't know if we can top this, though. We have to top a purple orb. There's literally only 1 drop in this entire drop table that can top that. And that is getting a blue major orb. Blue major orb is the only drop that this thing could possibly have that could top it. So you know what that means. You gotta give it to us. You know you want to. We've gone at least 3 months, probably, maybe even longer, without a major blue. Please give us back-to-back major orbs. We got one in the previous one. Come on. Oh, well, normal orb. Well, let's see. Would this have been a major blue? I'm almost going to be disappointed if this is a blue orb now. Like, obviously, I'd be happy with it, but that means it could have been a major blue if it was an actual proper orb. No! It happened! No, why? Well, at least it's better than nothing. Actually, that's still insanely good. But that means if that would have been a major, we would have finally gotten a major blue. But, oh well, can't really complain with getting the best possible drop off of that, but still. It would troll me like that. Oh well, that's still insanely good. But yeah, wow. Okay, yeah, never mind. Scratch that. This is just the best Vault event we've ever had. Let's just go with that. This isn't even the most amount of time we've grinded a Vault event either. I think the week that I did the previous best was like 20, 25 hours or something. This time around it's more like 15 hours or so. I ended up doing it for. Maybe even a little bit less than that. But yeah, 12 Vault Keys total this time around. Plus we opened 36, but obviously we can't count those. 36 was from previous accumulation of them. Yeah, it's been a Gnome event all weekend. It's ending in about 5 more hours. It's still in effect, though. You have 4 hours and 55 more minutes until it expires. I should do another stream of 10 hours of soul farm grinding. That's a lot of torture. I don't know if I want to torture myself like that anytime soon. We could consider it. That is a lot of grinding. But I don't know. We could eventually do it, maybe. There'd have to be an actual reason to do soul farming if we're going to bother soul farming for that long. Because that's a lot of time to soul farm for. If there's no purpose behind it. Like, they would have to add another mythic weapon for us to actually bother doing that. And I would mainly just be doing soul farming, so I'd be soul farming beside everyone else who actually needs to soul farm. Obviously, we wouldn't need to, but everyone else might be. Because obviously not everyone has 1.3 million souls just laying around. Because there's a good chance they're adding more mythic weapons that are like Dawnbringer in that they require 3 components and then 1 million souls for the main component. For 1.3 million total. They mentioned they were going to do one every few months, but then never bothered doing that. But they still might start doing it. They're probably just figuring out what they want to actually make them, so they're not ridiculously overpowered. Because of course that could be an issue too. Dawnbringer's already insanely good. And that's probably one of their biggest concerns, is adding like 5 more Dawnbringers to the game. Because every single mythic weapon they ever add is going to probably be one of the best weapons in the game. Similar to how Dawnbringer is. Also, I think we have enough good brown weapons. And I'm pretty sure whatever the next mythic weapon will be will have brown in it. And that'll be funny, because that's just going to continue the theme of ridiculously good brown weapons. You got Dawnbringer on your second account. Very nice. I've actually haven't gotten Dawnbringer on any of my alternative accounts ever. Just because I don't want to have to grind that many souls. That is a lot of time. Especially without a Fair Shra. That's potentially upwards of 50 hours of grinding without Fair Shra. Which is a lot of time just to get a Dawnbringer for an alternative account, but very nice. There you go, throw the Sendbird down again. Well, I never ended up finishing out my education during college. I just ended up getting a associate's degree just because it's the way that the credits transfer in New Jersey, if I ever do move back there. It's as long as you're finishing out any form of degree, you can transfer 100% of your credits to any college within this state. So I can easily transfer all of them over by law. Of course, I could probably do that for any state as well. They would probably accept most of their credits. But in New Jersey, as long as you finish any degree, they have to accept 100% of your credits, which makes the whole hassle of credit acceptance non-existent, as long as I stay in New Jersey for it, or go to New Jersey for it, since I'm not in New Jersey right now. But, yeah, I mainly just did that. As far as what I studied, I mainly studied writing, psychology, sociology, stuff like that. I feel like if I was to ever extend my education, it'd probably be to become a therapist or something like that. Something probably related to mental health and just helping people in general. I really like helping people. Let's see. Take the red over, Sunbird. And I just kill those two. Hello, Vital. Welcome. I'm already a Gems of War therapist. Nice one. Helping people with gaming addictions, pretty much. Though I don't know if I would be much of a help to them. I would just feed into it more. Let's see, we'll throw Firebomb down. And then just Sudbird everything. You must hide your utter hatred for all therapists? Really? I've never actually been to a therapist before, oddly enough. Mainly because they're too costly. Especially since I don't have health insurance. Even when I did have health insurance, though, they every single one around my area was always so booked that it was basically impossible to really ever get appointments, even if you had insurance. I did not talk you out of it, Xander. Go spend more time with your family. I never did such a thing. Or at least not directly anyways. Oh wow, 13 Vault Keys. Okay, I'm confirming it now. This is our best Vault event ever. Actually, there's only one way that this will truly show as our best Vault event ever. Give us a major blue orb. I can 100% confirm this is our best Vault event ever if he gives us a major blue. Go. He's probably not. That's very unlikely. He's got a major purple into a smaller blue. It's very unlikely we'll get it again. No. Oh, why did you have to end it on a pet gnome? Ah, that's awful. That's really bad. That key was worth like 15 gems, not even. It's an awful way to end it, but we're probably gonna have to end it at that. At least on stream, anyways. They only stream on Mondays, as far as the Gems of War staff. Also, I don't believe Salty's going to be in tomorrow. I think it's going to be Syrup and whoever else. I'm not 100% certain if Salty's going to be around. Yeah, it's Monday for most areas. Tuesday, Australia is when they stream. Their time, they're streaming at like 11 a.m. or noon their time. That's because they're all the way in Australia. It's 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is what time they stream. It's right after our stream on Monday. It's actually basically 15 minutes later from now tomorrow is when it is. When they'll be streaming. And we stream an hour and a half prior to now tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And they do it at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, we gained a level 87 hero. Anyways, we'll leave it at that. That's a really bad Vault Key to end it on, but still, we got 13 Vault Keys. We got still pretty decent loot. Unfortunately, got 0 major blues, but we still got a lot of other really, really good loot throughout it all. And we did get a Jewel Gnome after all of it, too, so at least we got that. But yeah, we opened a total of 49... Oh, no, we need to get one more Vault Key. We've opened 49 Vault Keys this weekend. No, I'm not going to do that on stream, though. We could be here for another 2 hours if I want to keep grinding until we get another Vault Key. Because we're getting really lucky at the moment. Because we've gotten basically, what, 3 Vault Keys this hour. But, what was it 4? No, it's 3. But, yeah, 49 Vault Keys this weekend. Specifically, 13 obtained. So yeah, it's definitely not too bad. I'll take it. One of our best weekends ever for a Vault event. At least second best, if nothing else. What's the necessities for the Explorer team you're using? Necessities? The only necessity that you really need if you want to build this team as cheaply as possible is, well, for one, having more stats. The higher your stats, the better it will perform. Mainly HP and armor and magic. But the absolute minimum is Sunbird, Forest Guardian... Sunbird, Rowan. Rowan you get for free from completing a Forest of Thorns. Firebomb fully traded. It's the only one that has to be fully traded. Ideally Sunbird too for Firestorm, but it's not really required. But Firebomb's the only required fully traded troop. And then Hero using any weapon. One of the cheaper options is War and Peace, though it could literally be any weapon. A reason you want Hero is just so you gain free Hero XP towards whatever class you want. It can be literally any hero class, whatever one you want to level. Ideally Titan if you haven't maxed it yet, just because it's so good. But you could be leveling any hero class you want. But yeah, that's the bare minimum. Would be basically just replace this with Rowan, and if you don't have Bronze-Lock Pistol, replace it with literally any hero weapon. Doesn't matter what it is, for the most part. But anyways, guys, I'm going to be heading out for now. Thank you all so much for coming down. If you're still going to be grinding gnomes for the last few hours, best of luck with that and all the Vault Keys. Other than that, we'll be back in several hours to go cover the new event and go over the 2 new troops that are both actually somewhat decent. Actually, the new leprechaun might even be the new meta, so we'll see exactly how that pans out. Other than that, we have no Friday events, and the rest of the week is just going to be normal up until that point. And I believe they just don't have any Friday events because it's the holidays, so that would make sense. But anyways, guys, I'll see y'all later. Thanks for coming down, and have a wonderful week. Goodbye, everyone.